unwavering
When your kid is hurting, and there's nothing you can do about it.
determination
Who's coming in the driveway?
Well, hello everybody. We are here with more Honkai reactions. It's by popular demand. Instead of playing Honkai, we're gonna watch videos on Honkai. Yay! Okay, so there's gonna be a lot of lore discussion, and I can see why people like these videos so much. I don't mind doing them. So let's see. Let me collaborate my camera just so that I'm just not all weird all the time. Okay. I did want to point out something. Well, I'll point it out later. So first up, we got also special thanks to Topside. He noticed that I had two social ninjas going on in my lobby chat, and I was able to fix it. It was super easy. But thank you again, Topside. I do want to point out something of Ducks real quick before we move on. And I'll probably post his link to this in my channel too. I decided to do it now instead of I didn't plan on doing this, but I'm very proud of the little Quackster. So, give me a second and I'll show you what I mean by proud. Give me a second. I should have had his channel up, but like I said, I decided to do it on the spur of the moment, and because his channel is so hard to like literally find unless you have like the direct link or something, because it's something about YouTube is it wants to make sure that it's not a scam or something, so it's like super hard to find unless you have the link. Give me a second, I have the link, and here we go for the Quackster. Okay, so on his page, he took all night working on this, and, you know, several days, but he did his first anime at it, and we're gonna, I can't play it because the problem is Twitch won't allow, like, copyrighted music when YouTube does, okay? So I would be able to react to this if it wasn't, but it's a really good edit. It's Apothecary Diaries, one of my favorites. So make sure you guys give it a like and comment on it and watch the whole thing. It's only 21 seconds or 22 seconds it looks like on here. But it would help the algorithm recognize him as a thing, and he will play more Star Rail, so that's what he told me. So we will get more videos up soon. He needs, I think, at least 5 for the YouTube to like realize he's a real channel. So again, any popular support could get him more subscribers and stuff too, and he's a friend. Also, he did a lot for our channel, so we're gonna try to help him out. Okay, that's all I have. Like I said, I can't play it. I wish I could, but Twitch won't allow me to play music that's copyrighted. So, and because there's a song attached to this. But anyway, we are going to Apocalypse channel, and I will link his stuff in the thing as well, like his channel. But I'll do that later. Okay, first I need to do, so we are, this is from Homu Labs, which we're already subscribed to. Make sure you give the original video some love. I'm going to like because we are reacting to it, and I will always like the videos that we are reacting to, whether I agree with the opinion or not. Homu Labs, I don't disagree a lot with. There is some disagreements I have, but again, it's few and minor. Topside, his first video, Nimpi, his first video. Yeah, so it's his first real video that, he made by, well, I had input on it, but not, he did all the bars and everything. I gave him choices on anime that would fit his song, and Apothecary Diaries was one of the ones I threw out. It was not the original one he started with, though. He started with Shikamaru is Not a Cutie, and then it went to Apothecary Diaries after that. But, or is a cutie. It's not, is a cutie. But anyway, he went to Apothecary Diaries because it's a little bit more well-known, and it does fit the song, and that was one of my suggestions. So, I gave him more support overall, but all the technical stuff he did. So, alright. Yeah, he really likes the edits. I'm not a fan of the edits, so I'm not the demographic for these. Anime edits, I think, are like... So, this is my opinion on anime edits, and I guess I should lay this thick. I think, though... And this is not... What Dux made is one of the best edits I've ever seen, and it's his first one ever he made. But with that being said, the genre of edits, I believe to be very lazy, okay? I don't believe that it takes a lot of work. Now, it does, if it's your first time, like Duck's first time, he had to learn how to make a bunch of stuff, like put in 5 layers of stuff in order to make the picture pop like that. However, I believe edits overall is a lazy way to make AMVs. AMVs take a lot of time and a lot of skill, and the way I make AMVs is not the same way everyone makes AMVs. Like, I make a story with it, it fits the song when I make it, and it's my AMVs are not overly flashy most of the time. Sometimes I get all creative with them, right? And they're a lot more flashy than normal. But AMVs in general, I think the more meaningful AMVs are the ones that tell the story with the song. And it takes a lot of time, like listening to music and getting the right clips and picking the right anime that would fit for this song. It takes me, I've been making AMVs for years, so it takes me less time than most people, right? I can sometimes make an AMV in 4 hours. But sometimes AMVs take 2 days or 2 sleepless nights trying to figure out the right music and stuff. The AMVs I just came out with took me like 5 days because I had a writer's block and I couldn't think of anything to actually make. So again, I just think the edits are like I could make 1,000 edits if I wanted to, just with my anime knowledge, and it wouldn't take me half the time it takes for me to make an AMV, if that makes a difference. So again, my opinion on this is biased, and every time I see an edit, I don't think highly of them. Now, Duck's edit is one of the best ones I've ever seen, and I've seen thousands of these tiny edits. But again, it's just not a genre that's for me. And that's all I'm going to say on it. Not sliding anyone that likes it or enjoys it or anything like that. I think if you enjoy it, that's just a difference in opinion. Oh, also, I just remembered I did not have my box on. So we turned on the box for your guys' things. The Duck's glaze is unmatched. Yeah, I have to glaze him a little bit. He did so much for my channel, right? All right. He is a cool guy in real life, though. He is one of the coolest guys. All right. This is about Otto's plan. So
only a few antagonists have had a lasting impact on me. Otto Apocalypse is one of them. A clown that lost his own sense of self 500 years ago.
By the way, Otto Apocalypse is a great villain, but he is nothing compared to... let me pull this up real quick. The greatest villain in all video games, in my opinion, is this guy. I know I'm spelling it wrong. This guy, right? Like, literally this guy. By the way, this is, since I'm going to reference this, I should put it in the description. This video is old, by the way. I'm going to like it real quick. We're not going to watch the whole thing. But, this was one of my favorite games back in like 2006, and it was one of the hardest games I've ever played, unless you know the secret where you can like mess up. So forgive the graphics, I guess you could say. It's a PS2 game, but it was really great. This little person right here pretended to be on our team for the whole game and then betrayed us, and then stole Odin, yes, the Norse god king, power for himself. Also, he can like be with Lyneth Valkyrie. But like, listen to his voice.
The hand worthy of wielding this divine lance is mine.
This guy is the greatest villain in all of video games, in my opinion. This is I don't want to spoil everything. But
how can a mere mage wield the power of a god? This is no mere mage.
like goosebumps.
Silmeria!
Now, again, if you never played, you're not going to get goosebumps from this, but this guy is crazy.
Wield the power of a god.
Alright, in fact, let's take a look at this real quick. Again, we're not watching the whole thing. I just want to see... No, it's not going to happen. Okay, so anyway.
when his hero and love of
That's
his
the greatest
life
villain
died
in
an
all
unjust
of
death
video games
caused
to me.
by a world that did not deserve her. Welcome back, beautiful people. Today we're taking a deep
Otto
dive
is a good
into the
villain.
character known as Otto Apocalypse. And this sounded just as bad as I
I'm not
imagined.
gonna lie, those graphics
You
are
may
worse
know
than I
him as an
remember.
evil villain, a pitiful soul, or a
On,
fool that
Valkyrie Profile
challenged
2.
fate and won. What made him such a brilliantly written antagonist? What was the main inspiration that Hoyoverse took when they created him? And what are the most common misconceptions regarding him? All of these questions will be answered.
I don't
in
think I have
today's
any
video.
misconceptions.
So,
We'll see
this
if I
is
disagree
inside
with
the
anything.
mind of the greatest Hoyoverse villain, Otto Apocalypse.
Okay, so is he the greatest? So let's talk about this real quick, okay? Since we're getting into the lore videos, let's talk about Hinckley's point. Remember, I'm the founder of the Hinckley is Always Right Foundation. We are taking donations at this time. Hinckley needs a new big screen TV. What can I say? But anyway. So is Otto the greatest villain in the Honkaiverse? And I'm just calling the Holyverse the Honkaiverse because I can't pronounce Holio in the correct way. So we're just gonna call it the Honkaiverse, right? And it's really funny, the little cube thing behind him, I actually thought that was like a Twitch icon, and I was like, who would send me a block? But anyway. So is he the greatest villain? Let's think about this, okay? So ZZ, I haven't played that far into ZZ. There's no villain in ZZ that I can think of that comes close. Now, Genshin, I can't think of any either. I've only done the first Land of Mostad. I'm very much in the beginning of Genshin, right? So far, I can't pin anything. So Starwell. We're gonna, like, Starwell is great. We have Sparkle. We have Lycurgus / Xandar, right? We have Cocolia, which, again, we're going to throw Cocolia right out of this. I think Starwell Cocolia is inferior to Cocolia in HI3. But we know that Cocolia in HI3 is sorry and repentant, so I don't know if we can call it like a true villain anymore. We also know that Cocolia dies pretty quickly in Starwell, so again, she didn't get the full, like, Bane. But then we have this, the Lord Ravaging of Philia, or whatever, from the Wafu. I know I'm not pronouncing her name correctly, but she was brilliant, too. So, do I think Otto Apocalypse is the greatest villain in the Honkaiverse? We also have Kevin, who is, you know, more menacing. I think Otto is close to number one. But, greatest villains from Hoyo. Yes. So, he's saying the greatest villains from Holio, period. Like, Otto Apocalypse is the best villain in all 4 games. Not just, well, he would include Gekken, too, because he's a lore guy. So, all 7 or 8 games that they have, right? He's saying Otto's the best. In my opinion, I think Otto is I want to say tied. And this is my opinion. I think Otto is a great villain. I think he's better than Kevin, but Kevin is more scary in the story. Like, the mythos of Kevin is more compelling than Otto, okay? However, the greatest villain, I think Sparkle, Vita, I think Lycurgus / Xandar. Not Lycurgus by himself, but Lycurgus with Xandar. I think they all have a huge thing about being number one in Honkai. I don't think Otto alone can carry it. And that's just my opinion. I think Dotor and Wanderer are better greatest villains from Hoyo is a stretch. Who's Dotor and Wanderer? I guess I just don't know who those characters are. Are they Genshin characters? And I'm surprised Slime isn't here yet. Slime really wanted these lore videos. But, Slime may come later. Who knows? Maybe he got held up. Let's see. Genshin characters, you would meet them in Stone. Oh, I'm looking for, if they're great villains, I'm looking forward to it. But I think Dontra and Warner are better villains. Greatest villains from Hoyo is this right? Yeah, so I think it's a preference at this point. I think Otto is in the conversation for best villain. I don't think he is the best villain. I think the best villain is like a tied collective. Now, I don't know the Genshin villains yet. But I think Sparkle is just as good as villain as Otto. Even though she's more like a friend to me at this point. But I think she's just as good. I also, in her own way. And I also think Xandar is just as good. Like, Xandar is a freaking great villain. And I think the Lord Ravager from the Zanzu is a terrifying villain. She had such a little debut compared to these other villains, but I still remember seeing that creepy smile on Tangoon's face when she revealed herself as one of the best moments in the whole game as a villain. And if you throw Stellan Hunters into the villain mix, it's not even close, because we got Kafka, Firefly, Blade, and Silverwolf, and the Delilah, and Elio. And you could make a case that they're not villains, right? They're good guys fighting on, like, anti-heroes, right? So if you don't consider them villains, he has a better case. If you do consider them villains, then Stellan Hunters for the win, in my opinion. But I love Stellan Hunter lore. I can't get enough of it. Genshin characters you would meet. Okay, so let's see if this video changes our mind a little bit. See, like I said, he's making the claim
It should come as
that he just wrote it out. Best Holy Voice villain. So he's making that claim. This is the claim he's making. The Delilah isn't Stellan Hunter. Didn't she, SW, say she was rejected because she would betray them? Yeah, you're right. So the Delilah, I just finished the patch last night, and you're right. But I'm still confused on that just a tiny bit, because she says at the beginning she's a Stellan Hunter. Then she says, no, I was not a Stellan Hunter at this time. And then you see Silverwolf reject her at the end. But I don't know if she's still rejected. Like, Elio is still using her. Because she makes the claim that she is a Stellan Hunter, like, full blown. Despite Silverwolf's conversation at the end with her. So I am 100% a little bit confused about Delilah being a Stellan Hunter for real or not. Because she is walking the path of the finality or whatever, or becoming the finality. And we know that Elio is fully at her side on this, being Terminus. Not Elio, but Terminus the cat, not Elio. I'm saying Elio because we thought the cat was Elio for a long time, but now the cat we know is a part of Terminus, okay? So, we know that Terminus is the Eon that the Stellan Hunters have been following this whole time. Even though I guessed that a long time ago. I guessed that Elio is the emanator of Terminus, okay? So I fully expected the Stellan Hunters to be following Terminus. But Terminus is also mingling with the Delilah. So it's even if she's not a Stellan Hunter in Silverwolf's eyes, she's basically a Stellan Hunter. I think that's pretty clear, and she considers herself one, even though she's not in the official in the organization. Terminus is her, like, key to being a Stellan Hunter. The Delilah lied about being a Stellan Hunter, and SW explained this that if she was a Stellan Hunter, she would betray them and become a Lord Ravager, if I recall correctly. You do recall correctly. Silverwolf said in every possible future, if you join the Stellaron Hunters, you will become a Lord Ravager. However, the Delilah, if you go back and listen carefully to the conversation at the table, she goes, I'm a Stellaron Hunter, and then she goes, no, I'm not a Stellaron Hunter, and then at the end, she goes, I am a Stellaron Hunter. Just not at that time. So, like I said, go back and listen to all the table talk, and you may change your mind about this. But yes, the final conversation with Silverwolf, we saw in the memory, Silverwolf adamantly rejects her into the Stellaron Hunters. However, it's not Silverwolf's decision. It never was. It's not Kafka's decision, even though Kafka recruited everybody. It's not Firefly's decision. It's not Blade's decision. It's Elio and Terminus' decision. And Terminus is hanging out with the Delilah. So whether Silverwolf says, you're in the Stellaron Hunters or not, and maybe her title isn't actually Stellaron Hunter, but she considers herself a Stellaron Hunter. So, that's the thing. Is she really a Stellaron Hunter because Silverwolf said no? Think about that. Is that really the case? Now, can she call herself Stellaron Hunter legally? Probably not. Because in every feature she does, she becomes a Lord Ravager. Or Terminus and Elio is strictly lying to Silverwolf. Who knows? But she considers herself a Stellaron Hunter. So.
Very polarizing opinions about Ado. Some respect him for his unwavering determination and the value he brings to the story, while others cannot forgive his wrongdoings. But no matter what opinion you have, I think it's valid, and nobody should tell you otherwise.
I'm gonna play the patch again though, because I separated it in two things, so maybe I misconstrued something, but that is my first opinion on the lore of the patch. I will replay it to make sure I am correct, and I will correct myself if I'm wrong. But right now, that is my opinion on Delilah Stellaron Hunter status. She's a Stellaron Hunter in everything but name. That's my opinion.
While totally missing the point of his character, we, as humans, experience stories differently based on our own set of morals, past experiences, and personalities. Some people leave aside their personal feelings and enjoy the story for what it is, while others choose to look at the journey through the lens of their own values.
I'm not gonna lie though, and I know it's off topic of the video, wasn't patch 3.8 wonderful? Like, wasn't that whole patch like almost a expansion story in itself? I had so much fun with 3.8. I love the Firefly lore. I love this new take on the Stellaron Hunters. I loved almost everything about the patch. And I'm not gonna lie, if you watched my video last night of me finishing the patch, because I waited a long time to finish, so I spent the first 8 hours of the patch on like the second day that it came out, and then I waited like 2 weeks to finish it up. That's why some of my thoughts might be a little bit jumbled on it, and I have to play it all in one go just to fully encapsulize it. But I almost teared up last night during the Firefly part, and I'm all like, I was determined we're gonna save Firefly. We are gonna save Firefly, and I'm more determined after sleeping that we're setting up to save Firefly. Firefly is not gonna have the death she thinks she's gonna have. There's so many red herrings in it that is trying to make us feel that Firefly is in this mortal danger. And even though she is in mortal danger, it's not unstoppable to stop. This is not going to be a sad story with Firefly. I am so invested in this is going to end up to be a happy story for her. And then they played the stupid song, okay? The stupid song. I was literally tearing up.
Some can appreciate the
Also, I think I would have liked it more if I played the guy, because I could actually think of them having a relationship, like he's in love with her. With the girl, it's more like sisterhood for me, right? So everything she was saying was more like in a it could be taken more in a romantic stance. And I feel like if I played the guy, it would have hit me harder. But still, I loved every moment of it.
Without sharing any perspectives, while others cannot stand them no matter how many redeeming qualities they have. Seeing people having a different opinion from yours is very normal.
Hey, look, different opinion for yours. It's very normal. Except for me, all my opinions are wrong. Right, HI3 fan base.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
There was one opinion that everyone agreed with me on, which was great. And they're all like, when did you start actually making sense? You actually have a theory that I haven't heard of before, and it's fantastical. It was my Eon theory in Star Rail. It was the theory I have that all the Eons are trying to stop the Honkai from invading. That's why there's little to no Honkai energy in Star Rail. It's because we know Kriploth is building a wall. A wall for what? My answer is to stop the Honkai. The Hunt is like nowhere to be seen. What is he doing? He's fighting the Honkai. Why is the erudition like ignoring the destruction and like not even caring about the danger it's in? Because it is calculating with the other good Eons trying to stop the Honkai. It's just really it's really easy to contrive that all these Eons that don't seemingly care about anything are actually trying to stop the Honkai. And I believe that to be the case. I believe Arcavelli chose to turn into Terminus to stop the Honkai. It's all about stopping the Honkai with them. The destruction doesn't care, so the destruction just wants to destruct things and kill all the other Eons. So the destruction is not, stopping the Honkai, unless he's sending troops to stop them and using the confusion to backstab the Eons. Who knows? But anyway, and what could actually kill an Eon? We have several supposed deaths of Eons or missing Eons. Guess what could kill an Eon? The Honkai. So again, I think there's a battle being waged and defense being waged that the Star Rail denizens don't know about.
I love Otto as a character and have always looked forward to seeing him in the story because he made it more interesting. I'm the type of person that removes a lot of personal baggage when I'm immersing in a fictional story. I do not associate it with real life, so I don't judge characters that harshly.
I'm the same way. It's a fictional character. However, fictional characters should be able to be discussed and talked about as if in real life, and I think that's because the character comes to be more than just something on a page, an idea, a philosophy, something like that.
Based on my morals, unless it's something really extreme and bad. Yes, I do not agree with a lot of stuff that Otto does.
Yep.
But that is the beauty of fiction. We can like characters that our values and morality would never allow us.
Correct. You can enjoy characters that is totally opposites of your moral and standing in real life, right? If some of the fictional characters that I enjoy were real life people, I would think that they are scumbags and should, find Jesus. Okay. A lot of them, like, man, I'm trying to think. Like, I like Lazard Valiant. He is totally disgusting and depraved in Valkyrie Profile 2. He did all this he betrayed everybody, destroyed wards in order to satisfy his lust, as the game would say. The thing is, a lot of these characters wouldn't be, my best friends. But as far as a fictional sense, oh man, a fictional sense, I like them.
As in real life. If Otto would be a real person, then yes, my stance on him and his actions would change drastically.
Correct.
I see people calling him a villain or a anti-hero. In my opinion, none fit his character. I call Otto an antagonist, a person who opposes the
By the way, I think he's right on this. So, antagonist is someone that opposes the protagonist, especially. And we know that Kiana is the protagonist of HI3. So, anyone that opposes her, whether being a good guy or a villain, is an antagonist, okay? Otto did a lot of good things in HI3. He protected the ward from the... Again, his motivations weren't there. But he's one of the only reasons that humanity after the last era was able to like recover and stop the Honkai for as long as they did, because Otto is like super smart and he led the defense of humanity. Like he stopped the Honkai in order to pursue his own pursuits, but it also saved a lot of people. Now he messed up a bunch of people's lives in the process, like Kiana's life, Dondro's life, Rita's life, everyone that he came in contact to, and like personally, he's messed up their life in some way. Teresa's probably the only one's life that he didn't really mess up, but again, Teresa's not happy with the way he was, but he did love Teresa.
Antagonist. An antagonist is neither good nor bad, just an opposing force to the main character. But what about the title of the video then? I clearly call him a villain there. Well, duh. Villains sound so much catchier than antagonists.
True.
Give me a break.
True.
He manipulated and killed people that stood in his way, tempered in unethical experiments such as cloning and testing on Honkai-resistant children for the single goal of reviving the person who was his hero and gave meaning to his life. Kalen Kaslana. I often see people downplaying the relationship between the two by saying that Otto is just a simp, or that he wants to revive her to be together as lovers. That shows a lack of understanding of how deep these characters actually are. Calling Otto a simp is like calling a lion just a big cat. Technically, you're right, but there is so much more to it.
I agree.
To better understand their relationship,
That's actually a really good
to
analogy.
go back to when it all started.
If you live in the Four Corners region and have 0 DUIs in the last 5 years, listen.
I don't have any DUIs ever.
While growing up, Otto was a sickly and fragile boy, shunned by his family because of his condition and passion. In other words, his family were a bunch of... That's when he met Kalen. She was more than a friend or a love interest to him. Kalen was his hero, the first person to believe and expect things from him. To say that he loves her would be an understatement. For Otto, Kalen is above the word. His feelings are much more complex than just simple love. He never wanted to revive her to be together with her. In fact, he knew that he will die if his plan were to be realized. For Otto, humans, himself included, are sinners that caused the death of Kalen, who in his eyes encapsulated all the good and beauty in the world.
By the way, so Otto blames himself for Kalen's death, which is something I disagree with. Not that it happened, but I disagree with Otto's perspective on this. So Otto did everything he could do to save Kalen, including offering her marriage, which she does not love him back. So she look, it's hinted she did love him back, okay? So this is she actually did love him back. She didn't want to be a hostage. So they have like this 3 family thing, and the Kaslanas is one of the 3 families with the apocalypse. And basically she thought if she married Otto, she would become a hostage to keep the other 2 houses in line. And she's right. That's what Otto's father wanted to happen. So she refused to marry Otto based on that. Now, Otto could have forced her to marry him, but he respected her wish. So on the day of her execution, because she refused to marry him, and it was not, he would have let her go. It's his father that was like, you marry Otto or you die. So Otto did everything he could do to talk her into it because he's all like, I'll protect you, I will do everything in my power, and she knew that he couldn't protect her. So she said no, and Otto staged one last try, and he released one of the Honkai beasts in the cage that would offer a distraction to let Callan escape, and Callan had no idea of this, but he timed it perfectly when she was at the Hanos Gallery, and right before she was about to be hanged, that the Honkai beast would run in and rampage everybody. So he comes in, but what he didn't realize is that the Honkai beast attacked a child, and the child was about to die under a bunch of rubble. And Callan went to go save the child, like she broke out of her restraints and broke the news and went to save the child, but then the Honkai beast stabbed her in the back as she was saving the child. And that's why Otto blames himself for death. Now, if Otto didn't intervene at all, she would have been hung. So, no, it's not Otto's fault. In fact, Otto did everything he could do to save her, but he blames himself for this. And this is the start of his downfall. If you want to see what really made Otto, it's his dad that made him who he is.
No other lives mattered, and that's
For
why
power.
he did all those atrocious things with so little remorse. And you may ask, why does he do all of this knowing that she would not want it? And here lies both the beauty and the ugliness of Otto. Yes, he knew that Callan would rather be dead than have all the people he killed on her consciousness. He wanted to revive her because of selfishness. Not for her sake, but for himself and what he believes is right. Otto points out that his sense of self died with Callan. He became a hollow husk of a person and wants to regain that part of himself that he lost with
This
her
is
death.
this is the fake
He doesn't care
Otto
about
right
her.
there. The fake Otto believed he was from 500 years ago and had fake Otto memories, but that was a clone.
Feeling, since his motivations have a deeply selfish root. Even while alive, he saw her less like a human with emotions and insecurities and more like a personification of the goodness and beauty. This is a common character trait for him. He never truly sees a human being as a person, but more like a personification of some abstract concept. There is very little individuality in his perception. This also brings me to my next point, the jester. Throughout the story, we see Otto associate with the persona of a jester on multiple occasions.
By the way, that's my favorite version of Otto. I'm not gonna lie, the masking is crazy cool, and I wish that was the persona we would have ended up with. Like, that would have been what he changed into. I think, and this is the least Otto I'm exposed to, unfortunately, because I think there's more manga lore on him and stuff than actually I know. But I think this is the best persona of Otto, and he should have, like, this should have been, like, the final fight. This is what he changed into. I just, the proper Otto that we know now, I feel like we missed out.
Also, a very popular inside joke
In-game,
in the community
in-game.
is to meme on Otto and call him a clown. But what is a jester or a clown? Well, a jester is a member of the household of a nobleman or a monarch employed to entertain guests during the Renaissance eras. In short, a person that makes a fool of themselves for the entertainment of the others. In
It's a
Otto's
comedian,
case,
okay.
this symbolic persona has multiple meanings.
Yep.
First, it's meant to represent his self-hatred. No one hates Otto Apocalypse more than himself.
I agree. I've known this from the beginning, that no one hates Otto more than Otto himself. And then Kiana is a close second. I'm not gonna lie. Kiana does not like the dude.
He is surprisingly self-aware of the action he has done.
Yep.
He knows that he has done wrong, but his desire to revive Callan is stronger than his common sense.
Yep.
He plays a fool to justify his self-hatred and to garner hatred from the others. When he talks, he always does so in a manner that provokes and attracts contempt.
He does.
wants
He
to
does
be
that
a
on purpose.
first-class a-hole. He wants to be hated because in his eyes, that's all he deserves.
Yep.
Also,
He does it
have
on
you noticed
purpose.
that he
It's
always wears a mask
it's a form of self-loathing. What Otto does is he believes he's unworthy of love. He believes he's undeserving. So what he does is he makes sure that everyone treats him the way he thinks he deserves to be treated.
all he deserves. Also, have you noticed that he always wears a mask when he directly involves himself in a fight? This
Yep.
is also a symbol of him playing the role of the villain in those moments.
Yep.
Otto is also what many call a Shakespearean fool. We know that he encountered Shakespeare during his life, so this kind of connection is not surprising at all.
Yep.
Shakespearean fools are normal jesters that act in the same way as any other, only that they are very cunning. They play their roles to gather information, manipulate, and outdo people from higher social
I actually knew
positions.
this.
Otto is no doubt a charismatic man,
And that
who
makes
likes
perfect
to
sense.
manipulate the people around him into doing what he wants.
Yep.
And like a Shakespearean fool,
A-class
he's
manipulator.
always one step ahead because people always let their guard down around him.
Ooh, wow.
Speaking of fools, the best way for you not to become one is to subscribe to the channel.
Already
if you
done,
haven't,
my
and
friend.
give the video
Already
a thumbs
done.
up. Thank you very much. Just like Otto, it really helps my shallow self-esteem.
That was a good one.
My husband used to ejaculate prematurely until this.
Okay, so my husband has this fun habit of
Guys, like my AMVs, like my streams, like my anime commentary. If you don't, my low self-esteem will get the best of me. And I may have to, like, delete my VTuber and become a real, like, use my webcam. And no one wants to see me in the morning before I shave. So, don't be that person. I'm just kidding. I was trying to think of something funny. All right, it was a little funny. Okay, give me some credit.
Honkai Impact 3rd is a game that doesn't shy away from philosophical references, and Otto as a character is no exception. For those of you familiar with the work of the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche,
I'm
the
not,
parallels
actually. I don't know
between
this
his
guy.
work and Otto should be obvious. Nietzsche is best known for being a
Maybe
nihilist, which is an ideology.
Maybe I do know a little bit about him. Now that he said his name is Nietzsche, I'm just like, maybe I've come across a few of his writings. I don't agree with nihilism whatsoever as a philosophy, and because I'm a Christian and I believe in Jesus and I believe everything has a purpose and a point. This is the farthest thing of my belief system. So, entities do not exist or are meaningless or pointless. I
that
just like.
rejects the fundamental of human existence. Concepts such as morality and values are perceived as baseless and they see no meaning in existence. But contrary
If you don't have God in your life, that's exactly what I would think that people would perceive, for sure. But we know morality and values are very important. There's a reason. There is a good and evil. Without having God in your life or Jesus in your life or believing in God, how can you justify whether something's evil or good or wrong or right? Because they would have no meaning otherwise.
to popular belief, Nietzsche was not really a nihilist.
Yep.
His
What?
philosophy draws roots in nihilism, but he actually condemns it in his work. One such work is called Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Do you recognize the name? Yes, it's what inspired the title for Thus Spoke Apocalypse animated short. In fact, all the chapters in the Colostan arc are named after Nietzsche's work. Chapter 26 is The Birth of Tragedy, Chapter 27 is Twilight.
Oh, this is cool. This is cool. So we just did 26, 27, and 28. And now we're getting... Ooh,
The
interesting.
Idols, and Chapter 28 is Beyond Good and Evil. For this
That is a cool link. Wow.
This video though, we'll talk more about the Spoke Zarathustra, since that is more reflective of Otto's character. Nietzsche's book has a few concepts that tie closely to Otto's story and character. First are the last man, apathic humans that gave up on life and have no willpower left to take fate in their own hands. They reflect the way Otto sees humanity. From his perspective,
hey, Topside, if you're still there, and you might not be, but if you are still there, has anything in this video changed your opinion on Otto being the greatest villain in Honkai verse yet?
everything wrong with humans is born from their complacence and dependence on concepts such as fate and God. A human that allows any form of
I like seeing
conceptual
Saber
power
right there.
to dictate their life
Get it? 'Cause
has
it's fate.
no worth in his eyes.
Hey, Slime. You missed Topside. Topside was here for most of the stream. But yeah, we're doing your Otto video right now. So, did you react to the videos I sent chronologically? Why? I have not sent them chronologically because some of them were Star Rail videos, which I might as well have a separate Star Rail thing. So we did Otto because we just finished the Otto stuff. So I was all like, that's a good video to like start with. In fact, where are you? Topsides, I forgot to send him get your car insurance. He said we have it. But let me take a look. We did not do the Chronicles of Auto Apocalypse. We could maybe do that tonight. But yeah, it's like the Eons. That is HSR. Genshin Impact, Genshin Impact, Genshin Impact, Genshin Impact, Change the Past, I'm not sure which one that is. And then we have another Star Rail stuff. So we want to make sure we separate some of them. I was at the gym. Yeah, no, all good, man. It's nice that you're here, though. We still got over half of this to do, but that's why I didn't do them in order, is because we might as well separate them by like what games that they're from, because I only can choose one game in the stream to like send out, if that makes sense. So right now I'm sending out Honkai the Third, but if I do a Star Rail lore video or something, I want to make sure that I have Star Rail that I'm sending out. If I'm doing Genshin, I want to make sure I have Genshin so that it would actually hit those people.
And eventually will fall and succumb to hatred and greed. On the other hand, we have the Ubermensch, which literally translates to superhuman. By contrast, these are humans that live their lives after their own morals and values. They represent grounded individuals that fight for their values in a world that has given up on any form of ideals. They believe that human willpower is the only thing that can bring change. Sounds familiar? If yes, maybe that's because this is basically Otto's character in a nutshell. A man that through the sheer force of his willpower does the impossible and overcomes conceptual limitations such as fate, death, and God. He was never complacent nor relied on a higher power to comfort him when Kallen died. Regardless if we agree with Nietzsche's work or not, we cannot deny how well crafted Otto is as a character. The writers had a clear philosophical base and moved him in the right direction to make use of his potential. Kudos to Hoyoverse. As a writer myself, call me impressed. In the same way that Kiana sees the world as a beautiful place worth fighting for, Otto sees it as an ugly place full of malice and unfairness that has little to no worth. The only thing beautiful enough to be pursued for him was Kallen. But even so, the two of them had surprisingly similar philosophies. While it's true that at a first glance they seem to be the total opposite of each other, if you look closely, you'll see that
I really dig his avatar with his accent. Opposite, by the way. That's a really cool way to say opposite. But I wish he would have kept this. I wish I didn't see his real face. My mental view of this guy is this avatar, and his voice fits it like perfectly. If you see him in real life, I mean, he looks just fine. But again, it's because I was introduced to this first that I want him to use this forever. I'm not sure if he does in his newer stuff, but I've seen his actual face now, and I'm just all like, it's not this.
both Kiana and Ado act based on the same principle. They both fight for all that's beautiful in the world from their perspective. While Kiana's idea of beauty includes humanity with both the good and bad, Ado's idea of beauty is the goodness he saw in Callan. For Ado, Callan is all that's beautiful in the world. But he saw semblances of beauty in others too. In his final moments, he clearly cared about Teresa and had hopes and respect for people like Durandal, Kiana, Welt, and Fuhua. He often mentions that these people carry Callan's will, referring to the fact that he sees some of Callan's beauty in them.
These 100% grass-fed beef sticks from Paleo Valley are 30 sticks for just $36 right now. But before you go and buy them, here are 5.
Ado's plan was never to destroy the world as he wanted everyone to believe. He made a deal with the Wheel of Honkai to access the power of the imaginary tree, but in his own words, he was just a slave shackled by his physical force.
Correct.
That's why his plan was to lose from the very beginning. He threatened to destroy the world only to incentivize people to stop him while nurturing their growth at the same time. He threw Durandal into the Stigmata space, anticipating that she would master the powers of her Stigmata. He knowingly left the Abyss Flower for Cele to take it and heal Teresa, the only one capable of nullifying the binding powers. He made Fuhua fight Li Sushang while being aware that her past is still haunting her, and he instructed Nagamitsu to tell Kiana about imaginary renormalization, an ascension tool for his plan and their future fights against the Honkai. He often expressed that he needed the Herrscher of the Void to achieve his goal. People assumed that he needed Kiana to open up a path to the imaginary tree, and that's true, but not in the way that many people thought. He wanted Kiana to use imaginary renormalization on him to reach the ground zero of the imaginary tree. Only there he could truly realize his wish.
So in some timelines, she's alive.
Ado decided that pursuing her goodwill was already too late. He was already painted in the colors of a villain, so he forced her to do it through the anger that originated from love. Imaginary renormalization is a concept based on quantum physics. Think of the imaginary tree as an infinite source of power and our physical plane as a place with finite power. Ado connected to the imaginary tree, so he basically had a battery that never ran out. Unfortunately, because his body was still in the physical world, he could not use that power to do what he wanted. Imaginary renormalization is a process in which, for a short time, the infinite power of the imaginary tree and the finite energy of the physical plane swap places. This is achieved by a very precise type of space distortion only possible to the Herrscher of the Void. When Kiana used her powers on Ado in chapter 28, for a short moment, Ado lost his unlimited source of power, giving Kiana enough time to destroy his body. This allowed Ado to ascend to a metaphysical plane and free himself from the imaginary tree's control. He forced himself into a place that let him control the very fabric of the multiverse. There, he traded the energy of his own soul to create a new timeline where Callan is alive.
So there's a ward where Callan is alive. Yep. Which we already knew. Which we already put together.
Remember this? Yes, now we finally know what it means. The Wheel of Honkai told Ado back then that he needed to die, aka trade his soul in exchange for a possibility to create a new timeline where Callan is alive. If this is not magnificent foreshadowing, I don't know what it is. Ado believed that imaginary renormalization will also help Kiana and the others in their future fights against the Honkai. As we all know,
And
Honkai
Kevin.
is a servant of the imaginary tree, which is an infinite source of power. But now, Kiana knows how to cut off that power for a short time to, I don't know, seal it on the moon or something. I don't think people realize how important this is. Ado gave them a weapon against the Honkai while making sure each of them grows stronger and achieved his goal at the same time. What a madman. You may hate him or love him, but you can't deny that he was a brilliantly crafted character.
I agree.
A man who rose above the stereotypical portrayal of a villain, and despite how...
But the best villain in Honkaiverse, I still conjecture that it's a tie between a whole bunch of them and not just Otto. I think Otto's one of the best.
How impossible his goal seemed, he achieved it. For me, characters like Ado are what makes fiction worth investing my time in. I always believe that the role of a good character is to stir up emotions in the eye of the audience, be it positive or negative. It doesn't matter. Art is about expression, about feeling, and Ado made us all feel something, god damn it.
I really like that scene with him and Drondrol right there.
Farewell, oh great inventor. See you in the next world.
Okay, well, I wonder if Otto will ever come back. I know that it would probably take away from the ending that they gave him, but I wouldn't put it out of cognition that he's gone, and he won't make an appearance again. But that is the end of our lore video today. Everyone, thanks Slime for yeah, we do lore videos every once in a while on the Honkai stuff, for sure. Just so we understand it. Slime gave us this one. So, and hello, how are you doing? Yeah, but we do lore videos sometimes just to, just for fun. It's, it can be a lot of good stuff. So, when we do lore videos, I have a different icon for it. Like the icon is this. But if you go to my live section on my YouTube, we have all kinds of lore videos we do every once in a while. And it's just me reacting to like lore of Honkai. Some of these get pretty wild. Some of them get like to like 32 comments or something. Because everyone wants to comment on it. But yeah. That is our series for tonight. We might watch one more video. Let me pull it up. It's another auto one if we do it. Slime gave us 2 auto ones.
What a year. Trips, gifts, holidays. But all those memories come with a cost.
Oh, well, this is the official Holy Wars website, so I guess we could look at it. I think we should. It's another auto one. It fits with the video, so... That's too early. What's too early? It's morning for you, right? So yeah, so it was a short stream, but the thing is I'm trying to decide if I want to play Honkai tonight or work on YouTube content. Like if I end the stream early, that doesn't mean that's the only stream I'm gonna do today. It just means like we might switch games, but again, it would be a new stream if we miss games. It's not going to be Persona, Ryan, because no one wants to watch Persona, unfortunately. It would be Honkai if we were playing the game. But we might as well watch this one too. So, let's see. Let me copy this because I need to put it in the thing. Why do I suck? No one wants to watch it. You didn't even, I streamed Persona the other day and you didn't even come to, my friend. All right, bye, Ryan. Okay. Okay, sure. We can do that. We will continue then. Give me a second here, and I will set it up. And if yeah, so we shouldn't end stream. I have viewers now. Why would I end stream when we have viewers? So it let's see. Okay, I made that there. Okay, so yeah, play to progress. Since it will be updated on January 1st every Thursday or every 9 weeks, so you might want to do the events you haven't done. Yeah, I got told that, but I also got told that the events that's out right now are not worth playing by people. But maybe I'm wrong, but that's what they told me, so. Alright, so this is the official Holy Verse video. We already liked it. This is another reaction, and this will probably be the last video on this stream for the reaction because they fit together. And then maybe we play a Honkai afterwards if you guys still want me to stream. Or we can do Genshin videos or whatever you guys want. But I would end the stream and then we would set up a new stream. So that's how that would work.
A walking shadow.
I am looking forward to the January 1st update. Plus, January 1st, it will be a year from my first stream. So I became a streamer January 1st of last year, and I played Danganronpa for 8 hours that night. So what's going to happen is I'm going to try to get the waifu awards done tomorrow night, and then we're going to stream games maybe all night. I might stay up till the wee hours of the morning, and then we would just have to decide what game we're playing, and I'm pretty sure everyone wants me to play Honkai the 3rd, so we'll probably open up the new year with me playing Honkai the 3rd. So
was the actor gesturing on the stage, who only appears briefly and steps off in silence. Auto Apocalypse, the most pathetic fool alive. He is the revered Schicksal Overseer. He is a corrupt, bigoted clown.
By the way, I already like Homu's version of this video way better than what they started out with. I know they're laying it on thick with this, but again, Auto was a lot more fun than what they're making this seem right now. But we'll see what they got.
He once sacrificed lives beyond count for his selfish desires.
It's selfish desires, but it's also to bring Callan back. There's a lot of good writing in his selfish desires. Since your December 31st to January 1st should be around my time at January 1st in the morning. So I don't know if I'll be here. Yeah, if you're here or not, that's fine. But I'm planning on streaming for like 8 or 9 hours that day. It just depends if you want to jump on or not. But again, it's my year anniversary of being a streamer, so I'm gonna probably go all out that night. You know, so what I'm gonna do is I'll probably work till like 5 a.m. in the morning today, and then I'm gonna sleep in tomorrow, and then I'm gonna start streaming late. I would love to do a 24-hour stream sometime, but that would have to be like planned for in advance. And I would like it to like me not to be the only one. Like I would be on the stream the whole time, but maybe I could talk Ducks into like co-hosting or something for some hours. But that's something to think about in the future, doing a 24-hour stream. We do have enough HI3 content left to do a 24-hour stream. I just, let me think about it. Maybe we do it the first. The problem with doing it on the first is my nephew's birthday is the 1st of January. So I may be required to be there. So it just depends. He may not even have like a birthday party on the first, but if it does happen and I'm called and I'm all like, I'm going. But we'll see. Let me think about it. Maybe I'll get some energy drinks and we'll do 24 hours just to say I've done a 24-hour stream. Let me quantum this because again, I have the waifu award, so I'm gonna try to do the waifu awards. It's gonna be a very little version of what someday I hope it to be. So I expect it to grow bigger and bigger every year. So I'm gonna do like a very small version of it this year just to like start it off.
So overthrew a decadent reign with people's support. He treated humans as pawns and trampled the value of emotion and life. But treasured Valkyries at the front line and prayed for their triumphant return. Commitment and betrayal, friend and foe, truth and lies. No one has ever seen through him, but to Otto himself, his actions only served one purpose. It all began in an afternoon 500 years ago.
In Albion, no matter where you go or what you do, your mount will accompany you on your journey. Perhaps.
Though Otto was born in the three houses, he was frail and sickly. He could only craft.
Remember, I in the last video I talked about the three houses and how Kellen always thought she might become a hostage if she married Otto. So the three houses are very important to this. The developers wanting for the viewer to not feel empathy for the bad guy at all is so funny. And if you play the game, you will see the missing stuff the developers left out. I like they did it that way. I like Otto's complexity, so I like seeing all the extra stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I am not a fan of this video so far. I really like Homu's version better.
Practical inventions, which naturally deprived him of inheritance. His older brothers detested his effort at self-destruction, but no one noticed his inner needs and desires. It was then that a white-haired...
Honestly, this feels like an AI version of the story. Like you've said an AI, and it's all like, this is the story. What's your like take on it? This is what I feel from this. Did you miss my previous chat? You will see the official Otto video lore. It's all dissing Otto because the developers wanted to make the watch only hate. They don't want you to love him. I love the developers. I did. I don't see what's the... You said you loved the developers, right?
Blue-eyed girl brightened Otto's cold and dull heart like a ray of sunshine. She praised Otto's work sincerely, expected great inventions from him, and invited him to save the world with her. For the first time in his life, young Otto felt recognized. He could be expected. He could be needed. Since that faraway afternoon, everything he did has gained meaning because of her validation. But the twisted fate would not spare them. The rampant plague and the failed crusade tore the prosperity they lived in apart. Power and force were the perfect fuel for greed, turning a shaky faith into the breeding ground for degeneracy. In the turmoil, the lives of the two reached a turning point.
Oh, you love the contrast. Okay, I get it. I love the contrast of how they did it. Yeah, I guess so. It just doesn't feel like it's, how could I say? It feels like it's admitting the truth and not being totally truthful. So I get what you're saying about the contrast between the two videos. I think Homu's is more what the actual truth is at this point. Yeah, that's HI3 for you. It's not HI3 if there's no one dead. That's true. It's see, that's why I said Starwell is the happier of the two games. It's not Starwell if someone dies. You see what I'm saying? How can they so it's funny. It's not HI3 unless someone's dead. It's not Starwell if someone dies, because how can they visit the train if they're dead? You see what I'm saying?
Fearing abandonment, Otto chose to disregard ethics and performed experiments on dying patients. He sought findings at all costs. Callan, who could not condone his crime, became a raven at night to spread hope and enact the justice in her heart. But lies were lies. After many operations, Callan discovered the secrets of the human experiments, and Otto exposed himself at the last minute. Before the infinite greed of Schicksal, individual will was nothing. Callan was.
By the way, this is actually a good part to see in the movie. Homu didn't hit on any of this. That Callan was a vigilante at night, and that's probably why she was thrown in prison, right? Homu didn't talk about any of this. I'm here now because Ryan is not in YouTube anymore. Well, someone's in YouTube, but that's fine. Yeah, I just, Ryan is getting angry that I'm not playing games that he likes. And it's just like, okay, well, you don't even watch them when I play. So it's just like, I don't want to play Persona 5 on stream all the time like he wants. All right.
The cold bars separated the two that were once childhood friends, yet their minds had already drifted further apart.
Homu talked about...
To Callan, the dignity of life...
That was by accident. Homu talked about Otto as a character while officially talked about Otto as a villain, yes. I'm currently prepping my lasagna and baked macaroni for tonight. Oh man, that sounds good. You just made me hungry for lasagna. I love lasagna. So I might have to leave anytime. That's fine. We're going to do this video, and then I'm going to think whether I'm going to stream later or not, like game-wise. I might just make content, but I might stream game-wise. I love playing Honkai the Third, and I really want to get to the time skip. I'm not going to lie. If it's anything like a Naruto time skip, and I think it is because there's a lot of things based on Naruto in it, I want to see the time skip. I really do. I got like, 6 chapters plus Elysium Realm to get to the time skip, so it's going to be a little while. Did you watch the Doodle lores I sent? I might have missed you talk about it. I watched the trailers that you sent. Let me take a look. We did that on stream while playing the game because you really wanted to, and you were definitely there for that. I'm looking through everything you sent me right now. So I only see the trailer for her. I think it's called Equinox, The Journey of Drudor. Okay, so no, we have not seen that one. We have not touched that one. So that one specifically we have not touched yet.
She had sworn to defend. To Otto, morality and ethics were only prices to...
If we want to watch one more video, we can do that one video. And that would be a sufficient lore thing, because I think we're, already an hour into this. And the Forgotten Diary is also Doodle. So is there 2 Doodle videos that we need to watch? The Forgotten Diary and the Equinox? Okay, so let's make that a separate stream. That way, we have some content for another Honkai. Because I'm guessing they're like 20-minute videos, right? So let's make that another stream. If it's gonna be 2, that will fit nicely. This will be like the auto.
He paid. A loud slap and a conflict of beliefs sent them on completely different paths.
Yep.
Otto knew that in no way could he stop Callan. He accepted it and helped her escape in silence.
Uncompromising energy deserves uncompromising quality, crafted without compromise.
Well, a little
I really
bird
need to
regrets
get
taking the
premium
Which
YouTube
means that
eventually,
train
so we don't have to
won't
deal
be
with
there.
these. They're getting to be painful.
After everything
The
was
Forgotten
said,
Diary is similar
Otto
to
was
Sealy
given the
and
key to the library.
The Forgotten Diary is similar to Sealy and Kiana Web even, where it's a chibi character walking. Okay, good to know.
Although Void Archives used the index permission as a bait in an attempt to possess Otto, Otto did not fall for it. He
'Cause
developed
Otto's just fun.
technology with pieces of knowledge, and thus a game that would last centuries began. In the days that followed, Otto searched for Callan.
To tell you the truth, I have no idea what Brave browser is, but to be fair, I have to follow YouTube's rules. And if YouTube knew I was using a browser specifically to avoid ads without paying them, they could penalize my channel for it or not allow me to become a partner. So I can't do anything to step out of community guidelines for YouTube. So I have to be very careful because I do want to become a partner. I do want to, make money and maybe make this a career someday. So I have to play by the rules. If I'm gonna avoid ads, then I gotta pay the premium if I'm gonna do that. So
While continuing his research and experiments, when he heard Callan was in danger in Yai village, he immediately had Oath of Judah delivered, but not the response letter that spoke his loving heart. Meanwhile, Callan sealed the Hersher of Corruption in the black box with Oath of Judah.
okay,
But
that's the
was
binding,
severely wounded.
divine key.
She was taken back to Europe by Schicksal for a trial.
Okay, that's how she got caught.
Callan was faithful and refused to sacrifice for family feuds, and thus was sentenced to hanging. Otto tried everything he could, but it was futile before the church's will. On the day of execution, the desperate Otto released Honkai Beast on the execution ground. He planned to take Callan amid the chaos, but he underestimated Callan's resolve. In the end, Callan lost her life when protecting the people. Losing the love of his life painted Otto's world gray again.
This is so sad.
Resentful, he chased after Callan's shadow. He tried to give this sad story a happy...
The previous era Hersher of Corruption Ren got unsealed in the current era because they could not kill Ren. They could only seal her. Okay, makes sense.
The ending as she would have wanted. He sounded the horn of revolution with his wisdom.
I don't know if it's just they didn't want to kill her or they had no way to kill her.
And
Okay,
cleansed
that's
the remaining
interesting. We
evil
may
of
look
his
for that
hand.
answer eventually.
People sang his accomplishments, and soldiers admired his resourcefulness. As cheers of victory echoed through the silent church, Otto could not help but ask himself if this was enough. In the centuries that followed, the hole inside Otto was still agape. The only way to mend it was to revive the love of his life and the holy maid of the people, Callan Kaslana. In 1496, Otto had no choice but to travel to Shenzhou in search of the legendary Master Phoenix for a chance to revive Callan. He met the...
Is this is where he meets Sushane and obviously Fu Ha, right?
fledgling swordswoman Li Sushan and found the reborn Fu Hua.
Yep.
But to his surprise, even an immortal celestial had regrets and could not bring back departed souls.
Yep.
In the end, Otto and Fuhua made a pact. Schicksal would protect Shenzhou in the powerless Fuhua's place, and Fuhua would serve Schicksal as a Valkyrie.
Oh, they used Su Shane as a bargaining chip with Fuhua. Interesting. That's something I did not pick up.
In 1952, the first Honkai eruption broke out. Schicksal captured the amnesiac first Herrscher and performed 3 years worth of serial experiments on him, which yielded nothing. Otto even approached him in person to persuade him into succeeding to the Schicksal Overseer, but failed. To eliminate risks, Otto decided to wipe out the North American branch that was about to discover Schicksal's ugly truth.
Interesting. This is when they split
New York, where tens of millions lived. Heroes defending freedom and justice stepped forward and crushed Otto's scheme at the cost of their lives. This led to the independence of anti-entropy.
Yep.
This failure taught Otto to take hold of the power to retaliate Honkai, which led to the Clone Project and the Artificial Stigma Project. In 1972, Otto began running forbidden clone experiments in the hope of reviving Callan, but the result...
Yeah, I didn't not know that in the lore, but I can see now that he was trying to replace himself as Overseer for quite some time, but that did not happen, as you can see, and he nuked his city.
Yep. Were not satisfactory. After injecting the cells of Honkai Beast Vishnu, the first living batch of Callan clones was born.
That's Teresa, right? Teresa.
To death at the end of the survival test. Only the individual numbered A310 rejected this absurd order. Her kindness in valuing life and her courage to defy her maker shocked Otto. He took A310 into his family and named her Teresa Apocalypse.
Yeah, honestly, Teresa, he really loved her, though. He stitched the Overseer coat for her by hand and everything. She really liked, he really liked her.
Meanwhile, Otto established the Tower of Babylon Laboratory to study artificial stigmata. Countless gifted children were taken from their parents and subjected to inhumane experiments day and night. Insurmountable suffering and hatred against humanity nourished these Honkai vessels. At last, Siren, the second Herrscher, was born. Otto mustered Valkyrie troops to subdue the Herrscher, dived into her sentience with the help of Fuhua, and received revelation from the will of Honkai. After many great sacrifices were made, Otto gave the order to launch Honkai fission missiles at Siberia.
Oh yeah, that's how the Valkyries got the Artificial Segment, the Tower of Babylon, the double-edged sword.
Otto's resurrection project gradually took shape due to the guidance from above. For several years, Otto tried to create the most promising clone with Kiana Kaslana and Siren's genes for the second Herrscher to possess upon return. He transplanted the core of the second Herrscher to the test subject numbered K423. The longing for Cecilia gave her life. After being taken to St. Freya by Himeko, the love she felt and the bond she made helped her learn to love this world and those around her. Watching Kiana move along the path he designed, Otto knew when she began to believe she would never be alone was when he could advance the plan. In the illusory Tower of Babylon, the girl's despair and longing for motherly love facilitated the Herrscher persona's awakening.
In the game, this was not well illustrated. I'm sure if you read the manga or something, it was better illustrated. But in the game, this was a lot of like nonsense that was happening, and it was pretty close to the beginning of the game. And I was very upset with the steps that they took to get us here and stuff. Like, I barely knew what was going on, and it's only because of Slime and Tomato at the time that I could understand what was going on. The game wasn't helping me at all.
Fuhua took her back to Schicksal. The experiment pod confined her once again.
Yep.
Facing the pod, Otto's eyes only showed a hunger for the Herrscher of the Void's power. As Otto injected enormous Honkai energy into K423, Hersher of the Void returned. Otto saved the dying Fuhua and told her his plan. Looking into Fuhua's furious eyes, Otto paused for a short yet long moment and pulled the trigger.
I remember that.
According to his plan, Himeko burned up herself to tear through Siren's will. Kiana's sentience returned.
Yeah, I do think Otto is not the best villain in Honkai, though, but I do think he is one of the best villains. There's a bunch of other villains I can throw up on the same level as him, but he is a great villain, alright?
To the body of the Hersher. To obtain a Hersher of the Void who could command the power with human will, Otto trampled emotions and disregarded lives. Otto believed that love and emotional bonds could evoke miracles, but he never respected nor honored them.
Yep. Wow, these commercials are fierce today. I think it's because they know there's a bunch of people on computers.
So far, Callan's revival was only missing a key: Cosmic Juggernaut's beacon. Previously, to reach the imaginary tree that governed how worlds worked, Schicksal cracked the legend of King Arthur and found the key of infinity that offered
King Arthur, I didn't realize that.
in the River
Cool.
Thames,
That makes
but
sense.
it was incomplete. Durandal passed Pioneer Sue's test.
Dondra is most like the
Received
King Arthur
information and
tales that you would see.
As numerous as sand grains in the Ganges. To complete Cosmic Juggernaut, Otto struck
I
a
remember
deal
this.
with World Serpent's leader. He traded Void Archives for Cosmic Juggernaut's beacon. When the Hersher of Dominance and Hyperion were locked in battle, he took the Theater of Domination and thousands of cores in secret. At last, the fully prepared Otto returned to the beginning. Kolistan.
How in the Ward did they translate the Ward world correctly in the lore vid, but not in the game? It's always universe.
Where Schicksal's blood and tears were buried, it would become the end of his long journey. On the other side of the stage, Valkyries had readied themselves as well. Teresa would succeed.
I'm not gonna lie, this scene right here is something so pretty and artistic with it. See Dondra right there? Like, she looks gorgeous next to like all this lighting and stuff, and Otto looks simply fantastic.
Valkyries had readied themselves as well. Teresa would succeed as the Schicksal Overseer and lead the newborn Schicksal toward a bright future. Bronya would shoulder the weight of the Welt name, for the Hersher of Reason's path had stretched to her. Fuhua concluded a feud that spanned centuries, so she could embrace yesterday as a human and open the door to tomorrow. Kiana broke free from the shackles of fate and created a trail of flames that would guide them forward with her friends. Durandal broke through the barrier of Kaslana and earned a new heritage that only belonged to her. Valkyries were eager to settle accounts with Otto. Indeed, they won. Their crushing victory was a heavy blow to Otto. What they did not know was that their growth, their resolve, and even the joy of winning were also part of Otto's plan.
Yep, I was about to say it's not a crushing blow to Otto, he planned it. Cosmic Juggernaut to reach the imaginary tree where it governs the world is something. Yep.
And for, in the past 500 years, was but a bargaining chip to attain death and a new life. After being defeated by Valkyries, Otto broke free from Imaginary's control momentarily. He imbued the world's wedge with all the false god's power to create infinite possibilities for Callan. As Otto left his last message, his sentience finally
Kalku Doi, all according to plan. Yep.
To different people, Otto perhaps means different things. But to Otto himself, all rights and wrongs are transient. he has attained eternal peace. His life as a fool is finally over.
I like this. This is like the cutest thing in the world. Think about going in your backyard and seeing, like, let's say you had a son and he had a childhood girl best friend since they were like 10 years old, and you just knew that they were going to get married someday. You knew that they were going to, this would be like such a precious thing to see. All right. So anyway, that turned out to be a pretty good video. I do like Homu's better, but if you put them together, they gave us a very complete looking picture on everything. Yeah, we now believe that Otto intended to fail all along, and he did set up the things for the future, and he set up weapons against the Ward Serpent and stuff. He wasn't an uncaring person like he pretended to be. I think Homu's video hit harder because it talked about the self-loathing that Otto had, and that he always talked down to people on purpose so that they would respond to him in a more hated way, because he believed himself that he only deserved hate. So I believe that that is a lot of why Otto was so antagonistic, is because he really wanted people to see him the way he saw himself. And you had to kill him in a witch trial way. You are beach of a father. Oh, yeah. I get what you're saying. All right, so that is our lore videos for today. The next lore videos we'll do is probably the genre ones. Those sound fun. But what's going to happen now is I'm going to cut the stream, and then I might come back later tonight, which it would be a late stream if I came back. I might come back later tonight and we'll play some Honkai 3 for a little bit. It's only 8 o'clock my time, so I normally work on YouTube till 5. So the thing is, if I do come back, it will be late. Like Star Wheel, I think I started at midnight last night, and I might play Honkai tonight and do some Elysium Realm stuff so we can continue to move forward. Tomorrow night, as long as I get everything done, which is a big question mark, we'll do the Waifu Awards. And then we'll play Honkai the 3rd for a long time tomorrow night. So, all right. Thank you for everyone that has come and watched. Thank you for everyone who will watch in the future. If you disagree with anything I said here, please make sure you put it in the comments. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It greatly affects algorithm and all kinds of stuff, since I want to, do more on this. Let's see. I love Otto is the definition of a man that did not move according to the Bible. A man with no faith moves only in rationale over ethics and morals given by the Bible. Interesting take on it. We did talk a little bit about that. We talked about nihilism and how nihilism is the farthest thing from Christian faith and stuff like that. But then Homu brought up a fascinating point after I gave my little spiel, is he wasn't the guy that Otto is made after is not truly a nihilist. And he had some stuff about that, about morality and virtues, how Otto actually did value them slightly. But yeah, he didn't have enough faith to, find another way, I guess you could say. I think that would be the best way to put it. If there was a better way, then I know not, with my limited powers of deduction. All right. Again, there was a lot of good lore. We could attribute stuff to the Bible. Even the Tower of Babel is very biblical, and it is how should I put it? A place of evil in the game, and it was a place of evil in real life. So there you go. God confused all the languages to stop them from building the Tower of Babel. because they were disobeying God. In fact, that's the reason why we have all these different languages in the world. So, fascinating. There's a lot in Honkai that's very biblical, which I find interesting since China is so against Christianity. But that's the power of, that's the power of God, really, is able to impact anything, even China. So, that's something to salute to right there. I can't wait for Kevin's lore vid that never did get made. I hope Homu does his lore vid of him. He promised it years ago. Really, I thought he would have done a Kevin video by now. That surprises me so much that Homu hasn't done one, because he makes lore videos on everything, right? Kevin is one of the more like big moments in the lore. That's shocking to me. That is shocking to me. Hope that happens. Okay, thank you for everyone who watched this video. Thank you for everyone who will watch this video in the future. I greatly appreciate it. We will catch you next time.